Howdy, welcome back to the channel. Another one of the videos here at the faux marble table, where you get to look at my fat striker hands, and they look dirty as sin, but I promise it's just lighting. Except for that looks pretty nasty. I got working man hands, you know? So I want to talk to you guys today about Library of America books. I made a video about Every Man's Library books, just my appreciation for them. And I would say maybe like a third of the comments on that video are recommending Library of America books. Which I have now. I don't have a lot of them, not nearly as many as I did when I made my Every Man's Library video, but I have 6 here that I want to talk about and just, you know, share these with you because I like them a lot. I'm excited to keep getting them, and yeah, let's get into it. Before we do, though, I want to share with you my current read, which is kind of a theme within my videos somewhat. Right now I'm reading The Passenger by Cormac McCarthy. Sorry, this book is massive. Really, really good. I remember when I heard the basic plot for this, I can even see how dirty it is from my my sweaty man hands, my meat hooks. When I heard the premise of it about a man who's a diver, and there's somewhat of a conspiracy within it, I was like, man, that sounds like so much fun. And so far it has been. I've been really enjoying it. I'm only like 100 pages in, and I think, man, what a send-off novel for Mr. Cormac McCarthy. Alrighty, so Library of America started in the 1970s, and their kind of, is it modus operandi? Their mission is to preserve American authors' works in very nice editions, and I think they do that pretty well here. So I'm going to show you all the Library of America books that I own in the order I got them in. We're going to take a little bit more time on the first one just to kind of show you what they're all about, and then we'll go through the rest of them. So yeah, let's get into it. So my first one right here is John Williams, Collected Novels. As you guys know, I really love John Williams. What an excellent find this year to have read. Thank you, Better Than Food, for recommending Butcher's Crossing. That's what made me interested, and my wife actually got me this a few months ago for my birthday, and yeah, we'll talk about it. So every Library of America has kind of the same look where there's typically a photo or a painting of the author. The same kind of like font for the name. We have the 3 stripes, red, white, and blue, as you know, because like America. And then typically a description of what is within the actual book itself. And down here we have their little, I guess that's maybe a seal. It's stars and stripes, but the stripes are kind of like, you know, in this open book format, with the little Library of America hit. And then on the back, it typically has a description either of Library of America or writings within the actual book. So we'll pop the Dutch jacket off real quick. Ooh, that's probably cool looking on the camera. Library of America uses, I believe, 4 different colors. They use this tan color. They use a green, a red, and I believe a blue. And I say believe a blue because I think I've seen them. I don't own any though. So they're very simplistic. Again, nice cloth bound. I really do not care for leather bound books that much. I know some people are ecstatic for them. I prefer the cloth bound. They feel really good in hand and they look really good on the shelf. And that is important to me from when I'm reading it and also when I'm not reading it. So typically on the tops here, they will have this little band that is usually just the last name of the author and then what is actually within the book. It's kind of nice though having the whole John Williams up here. Then down here we have that little seal or crest, as you may call it. So we'll get inside here and you can see the end papers are really beautiful here with their seal. And the colors typically correspond with the color of the outside of the book as well. And so I'm going to tell you right away, one thing it's like a pro and a con in the same, and I'll explain. Some of the books here from Library of America, the paperweight is so extremely thin, and I'm talking like in this one particular, it's like Bible paper, and that is okay insofar as you can fit a lot of pages within a small space. And someone like me, I own like two bookshelves, you know. One of them is filling up rapidly. It is so nice to have so much literature in such a compact form. That's the pro of it. And I guess the biggest con is that I feel like I have to be very delicate with the pages. Not that I am like, you know, harsh with my books or whatever. But I do have to, you know, just take extra care. You know, sometimes I don't even like my fingers resting on it because I got clammy hands, and I'm worried it's going to damage the paper. Not every one is as thinly printed as this one, but that is something that, you know, I guess is the only con. Other than that, I absolutely just love the way these are set up. They're all consistent. Every Library of America book has, I believe, the same font, and they are all set up the same way. Every Man's Library is a little different. They don't really have a very consistent look to the interior of their books. They're all very different. I don't know what the process is there. I don't know what the process is here, but I do love how typically at the tops here you have the name of whatever work you're reading, typically the chapter or part you are in, and then there's this line header at the top here that separates that from the rest of the page. Piss in it, Schneider said. Like I was mentioning with the thin pages, okay, let's do a little experiment here. Let's do a little fun experiment. Which of these two books would you say has more pages in it? It is a trick question. I got you. This John Williams book has over 850 pages in it, and it's about like an inch and an eighth, maybe an inch and a quarter thick. And yeah, look at that. It's just filled with content. And the last thing I'll mention before we start moving on to the other ones, I'm sorry, Brent Stryker talks a lot. I don't know what you expected. Is that typically they have like selected essays or related writings alongside these main works. And I love that. I think it's so nice. Like if you are just so in love with certain authors or you want to learn more about their ideas, you know, sometimes they even have letters they send to other people in the backs here. They typically have those thrown in here. And I think that is just such a fun addition to have into the books. So that is John Williams. We'll go on to the next book here. John Muir. I've mentioned it on the channel a lot. Love nature. I am marveled at the beauty of nature, the craftsmanship of nature. John Muir was too. Everything I've read about this man, he just seems like a really awesome, beautiful soul. I believe they call him the father of natural parks because he was a heavy conservationist back in very early America. So as you can see, this one here is green, which I don't know how coincidental it was or intentional it was, but I think having the green coloring for the book about a man who loved nature and was a conservationist, I think it's very fitting. So in here, like I mentioned, the end papers, you know, they go along with the color of the book and they're the same throughout. We'll open it up and you again can see that consistency, the same font, same layout through and through. This one too has illustrations in it, which is very fun. What I've read from John Muir, I've kind of dipped in here a little bit here and there. I've read God's First Temples, How Shall We Preserve the Forest, or Our Forest, really, really good. Save the Redwoods, I read because I actually saw the redwoods last year in October, and it's one of those things that you see and you don't really believe that they're real, but they're very real. And I've read a bit of the story of my boyhood and youth. So far, I really, really love this guy. This is like a collection I'm not going to read straight through, but when I'm in the mood to just kind of meditate on nature and think about the world that God has provided us, I will be coming here to read about that. So yeah, John Muir, highly recommend. And next up, we have Francis Parkman. I don't know if it's Francis or Francois. I don't know. It's spelt Francis, but, you know, sometimes people's names are spelt and not said the way they're spelt. I'm American. So this is the Oregon Trail and the Conspiracy of Pontiac. I have not read this one yet, but on the inside leaf here, it says that Herman Melville praised the Oregon Trail for its true wild game flavor. Basically, I think Parkman just went around and talked to Native American tribes who had not yet met white people. And I think that is so interesting. I've talked about it a lot on the channel. The early America, like 1780s, 1770s onward through like the late 1800s, really fascinates me. Just everything that happened. There's a lot of horrible things that happened. There's a lot of good things that happened. But I just think the idea of exploring something that is totally new to like people. I'm not condoning a lot of the stuff that happens here. I am just saying the idea of going out into a place that you've never been to before, that you had no idea existed, and just taking it in and seeing it, I think that is really cool. I get that same kind of feeling now when I go to different states, so although I'm not doing anything of the sort like they did back in the day. But yeah, like I mentioned again, you can see how it's laid out, name of the work, title of whatever chapter you're on or section you're in. So have not read this one yet, but I do plan to eventually. I just found this at a used bookstore and I thought the topic was interesting. Plus, if Herman Melville's praising it, it's probably gotta be worth it, Next up, this is my only one that I've bought that has a slipcover for it, which is kind of neat. This book right here is John Steinbeck's novels from 1942 to 1952. So I got this one, again, used, because it has East of Eden in it. I've heard such great things about it. I would really love to read it. Steinbeck is an author who, I read Of Mice and Men in school, and I think I really enjoyed it. And so I actually have a guy that I worked with for a little while, and he told me to counter me saying that Brothers Karamazov was the best book. He said, no, East of Eden is. So finding this, I just picked it up. Thought it would be really cool, really fun. And I've heard like Canary Row, I believe is what it's called, is also very good. So it'd be really nice to dip into Steinbeck. Maybe later this year. We'll see. So there's that one. Then next up we have Flanery OConnor. So if you look at my current read at the beginning of this video and you look at the last two books I'm going to show you, you're going to understand maybe the connection there. So Flanery OConnor, Southern writer. That's pretty much all I know about her, and I see her name thrown around a lot when it comes to inspirations for Cormac McCarthy. And I'm pretty sure it's like not only in the topics she writes about, but the way she writes as well. This one's newer, as you can maybe see. Yeah, I got this one for $5 because it had some water damage back here. As you can see, there's some water damage. Which back here I think is okay because this is past most of the actual literature that's within here. Another problem is this made me laugh so hard. Sorry. There is a ribbon in every Library of America book, and they still decided to dog-ear the pages, whoever the previous owner was. I just thought that kind of humorous. So, yeah, Flanery OConnor, someone I am very interested in looking into. I can't get enough Cormac McCarthy, and when you can't get enough Cormac McCarthy, you go to her or this next author. That next author is Mr. William Faulkner. So I got this one when I got Flanery OConnor as well. And I've heard that Light in August is a good place to start with Faulkner, who I am somewhat intimidated in reading. I feel like I have to be at my most aware state, like the most awake. And so I've been kind of putting him off. I've been wanting to read Faulkner for a really, really long time. And hopefully having this nice book on my shelf will allow me to do that. So we're going to pull this one off here. And this is the only one I have that is nice and red. So we go here, Faulkner, novels from 1930 to 1935. So this one, as you can see on the cover, also has As I Lay Dying, Sanctuary, and Pylon in it. Again, it's just, you gotta love the consistency of the way things are laid out. Font, again, is the same. Everything is formal. And I think it goes with the, classiness of these books. Like, these books look very like academic in some sense, and in some sense they are actually just academic. There are so many great writers that they highlight in these Library of America editions. They even have like speeches from old presidents and everything too within them, which is really, really cool. And I think this red just looks so sharp. If you've seen my bookshelf, you know I have a lot of these burgundy books in my Everyman's editions. I just love the 1800s, I guess. Alrighty, I love you. That's all the books I have, but if you made it this far, I want to show you something funny that Library of America does, and you can actually order catalogs from them by mail, which is really funny. They include this slip for snail mail in every book they sell, and it is just, I find it like somewhat adorable. You know, it's like a piece of history. Like when I was a child, you know, you'd have to mail everything. And now it's not like that anymore, but I love how they still like throw these in there, just throw it in the post, and you can sign up for catalogs by mail, e-newsletters, and stories of the week. Very, very fun. So, okay. I love you, beloved. Thanks for hanging out, watching. Be blessed, be well, keep reading good books. I know I am, and I hope you are too. Even if it's a page a day, you're doing good. Okay. Love you.